जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। Thank you once again, dear Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu Prabhu, and all the assembled Vaishnavas. I'm very thankful that all of you have joined again for this 19th session on our series of talks regarding Shri Caitanya-Siksastakam. I'm very thankful to each and every one of you who has kindly been a part of this entire journey. And continuing this journey, dear devotees, I'd like to begin today's talk on Shri Caitanya-Siksastakam. This is the 19th session. Dear devotees, before we begin, I'd like to offer the verse which was composed for this first verse of Shri Siksastakam. Shikshaष्टकामृताब्धौ यो मज्जन्मज्जयति स्वकान् स गौराङ्गस्तटस्थं मां कदाब्धौ क्रक्ष्यति स्वयम्. While drowning himself, Shri Gauranga simultaneously causes his near and dear ones to drown in the nectar ocean of Siksastakam. I am a mere bystander, waiting at the shore. When will Shri Gauranga forcibly pull me in that nectar ocean? Dear devotees, our practice is also to have a fresh realization on Shri Harinam at the beginning of every session. And at the beginning of this session, I'd like to quote a verse. And this verse has been spoken by Sri Suta Goswami to the sages at Naimisharanya. And this particular verse is from the Puranas. I'll sing the verse. Aho hi vakye chaturakshare dve punyasya papasya nidana bhute uccharanadeva nranam munindra narayanascheti tatharthavadah. So this particular verse is from the Brihan Naradiya Puran. It says, Munindra, oh great sages, aho hi vakye chaturakshare dve. Aho, how amazing it is that Ucharana Deva, by the mere utterance of the two terms, it causes all piety as well as all impiety. And both these terms have four syllables. And the term which generates all piety and which has four syllables is Narayana. And the term which also has four syllables and generates all impiety is Arthavad. And many of us know what is the meaning of Arthavad. Arthavad is to consider that the glories of Sri Harinam mentioned in Shastra are exaggerations for encouraging people to chant Harinam. So chanting Narayana, it gives all benefit, but saying that it is Arthavada gives all impiety. So dear devotees, a very nice verse from the Brihan Naradiya Puran, uttered by Sri Suta Goswami, addressed to the sages at Naimisharanya. Dear devotees, we are continuing the discussion on the first verse. I'll sing the first verse again. Cheto darpan marjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam Shreya kairav chandrika vitaranam Vidyavadhu jivanam Anandambudhivardhanam pratipadam Purnamritaswadanam Sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Śrī-kṛṣṇa-saṅkīrtanam. The devotees, we have also seen the word for word many times, but the highlighted section, Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, kindly read the translation of the section highlighted in red.
That entity named Śrī-kṛṣṇa-Saṅkīrtanam reigns supremely victorious.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, the devotees, we have seen the 7 adjectives of Śrī-kṛṣṇa-Saṅkīrtanam, and these 7 adjectives were Cheto Darpanamarjanam, which was the first, Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam, which was the second, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam was the third, Vidya Vadhu Jivanam was the fourth, Anandam Buddhivardhanam was the fifth, Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam was the sixth, and Sarvatma Snapanam was the seventh. So these are 7 adjectives of the main term Śrī-kṛṣṇa-Saṅkīrtanam. And what about that Śrī-kṛṣṇa-Saṅkīrtanam? Paraṁ vijayate. It reigns supremely victorious. This is the short and sweet essence of the verse. The Śrī-kṛṣṇa-Saṅkīrtanam, laden with 7 special qualities, reigns supremely victorious. Dear devotees, in the previous session, we discussed insights from the book Tarak Brahma Mahamantra Naam Japa U Kirtan Vidhan. It was a book which compiled various references in relation to the loud kirtan, the public sankirtan of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and gave many pramanas from various sources. And then we also saw the conclusions regarding audible kirtan of Mahamantra from various Gaudiya Vaishnava Pandits at Sri Navadvip Dham, Sri Vrindavan Dham, Sri Jagannath Puri Dham, etc. We also saw some other pramanas regarding audible loud kirtan, sankirtan of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then we saw the Mahamantra as it is found in the Radha Tantram. Because in the Kali Santarana Upanishad, we see that the order of the Mahamantra that is found in most editions of the Kali Santarana Upanishad is not the order that we chant it in. Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, are you aware of the order in which the Mahamantra is found in most editions of the Kali Santarana Upanishad?
Yes, it begins with Hare Rama instead of Hare Krishna.
Yes, it begins with Hare Ram instead of Hare Krishna. But then we managed to locate a particular Tantra literature in which the Mahamantra begins with Hare Krishna instead of Hare Ram. And then we also saw what is the difference between Vedas and Tantras. Because if Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu has to give a Mahamantra for all individuals in Kali Yuga, all the way beginning from the Brahmana, all the way down to the lowest person in human society, then Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu has to select a particular mantra from a literature which is accessible to all humans in society. Dhāmeśvara Mahaprabhu, are the 4 Vedas accessible to all humans in society?
No, they're restricted for Brahmanas.
So they are restricted for Dvijas, mainly Brahmanas, some portions for Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. And even in the Shudras, there are some exceptions like the Rathakar. Rathakar is basically charioteer. So Rathakar is eligible to chant very selected verses from the very selected hymns from the Vedas. But otherwise, all other Shudras and people outside the Varnashram system are disqualified from uttering Vedic mantras. So if the Hare Krishna mantra would be taken from a Vedic source, such as Kali Santarana Upanishad, then it automatically means that those people who are not eligible for the Vedas will become ineligible even for uttering this Mahamantra. Therefore, the Mahamantra has to come from a source which is suitable for the audience of Kali Yuga. We also saw a verse last time which said that even those who are born as Brahmanas in Kali Yuga, mostly they are Ashuddha Shudra Kalpahi. Hari Bhakti Vilas says most of them are impure and they are like Shudras. And even for such Brahmanas, we need the path of the Tantras. The major difference between Vedas and Tantras is that Vedas arose from the breathing of Lord Narayan at the beginning of creation, whereas Tantras were given mainly by Bhagavan Shiva. Vedas are restricted only to Dvijas, Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas mainly. Tantras are open for the entire human society. Therefore, if a mantra is found in the Tantra literature, then that mantra is accessible to all humans in the society. And therefore, Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu selected a mantra which is accessible to all humans in the society. Also, dear devotees, we saw that in the age of Satya Yuga, the human society required meditation only on the seed of all Vedas, which is Pranav Omkar. In Treta Yuga, perfection was attained by following strictly the path of the Vedas. In Dwapar Yuga, perfection was attained by following a path of Vedas and Tantras combined. But in Kali Yuga, the Srimad Bhagavatam said, Nana Tantra Vidhanena, that in Kali Yuga, it is the path of the Tantras. And Srila Sridhar Swami in the commentary said, Kalau Tantra Margasya Pradhanyam. In Kali Yuga, the path of the Tantras is most prominent. And immediately after that verse comes the verse, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Praya Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. That in the age of Kali, intelligent people perform Sankirtan Yagya. So, dear devotees, as soon as the Srimad Bhagavatam declares that in Kali Yuga is the path of Tantras, immediately the Srimad Bhagavatam says, and Kali Yuga is Sankirtan Pradhan. It requires you to perform Sankirtan. So this Sankirtan also has to come from the Tantras. Otherwise, most of the human society will be restricted from accessing the Vedas, and then the purpose of Mahaprabhu will not be fulfilled. Therefore, dear devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to select the mantra not from a Vedic source, but from a Tantric source. Also, when we hear the term Tantra, sometimes we start thinking that the term Tantra is a negative term, because often Tantra has become conflated with ritualistic drinking of wine, ritualistic sex, etc. So that is not the meaning of Tantra here. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada has clarified in the purport to that verse that Tantra refers to Pancharatra Shastra, Sattvat Tantras, Tantras in the mode of goodness. There are Tantras in all modes, goodness, passion, ignorance. There are also atheistic Tantras. But we are here referring to the Tantras which are useful for worship of Bhagavan Krishna. And those Tantras are mainly Narad Pancharatra, Sattvat Tantra, etc. So we saw a comparison of Vedas and Tantras and how the path shown by the Tantras is most prominent in Kali Yuga. Still, the Kali Santarana Upanishad is of special interest to many of us, because it is often said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the Mahamantra from Kali Santarana Upanishad, and then some people say that the Mahamantra was found as Hare Krishna first in Kali Santarana Upanishad, and then some people say no, it is found with Hare Ram first, and Mahaprabhu inverted it. So we saw all of that last time, but let's continue exploring Kali Santarana Upanishad. Now, dear devotees, let's go down to manuscript level, not to printed books. Let's go down to the manuscript editions of Kali Santarana Upanishad. Dear devotees, in the Kali Santarana Upanishad, it is mainly a discussion between Shri Brahma and Shri Narad. And in Munich in 1909, there was a German scholar by the name of Theodor Aufrecht who published his catalog of manuscripts. And in his catalog of manuscripts, on page 131, he listed Kali Samtarana Upanishad. He had a manuscript of Kali Samtarana Upanishad in Germany. And I have highlighted the Kali Samtarana Upanishad and the Mahamantra as given in the Kali Samtarana Upanishad is highlighted. So if we see here, the Mahamantra is Hare Ram first in the Kali Samtarana Upanishad. This was published in 1909. The book was published in 1909, but the manuscript is much earlier than that. Then, dear devotees, there was another PhD scholar, Julius Egeling, who published catalog of the Sanskrit manuscripts at the India office in London. He published in 1887 AD. He also listed an edition of Kali Santarana Upanishad. And even in his edition, this particular edition was in Telugu script, but he has written it here in Devanagari script. So Sanskrit, he had the Sanskrit in Telugu script, but for the purpose of this book catalog, he put it in Devanagari script. And even in that manuscript, it was Hare Ram first. Then, dear devotees, 28 Upanishads, a book published by Nirnay Sagar Press in 1906 AD. In this particular book, also 25th was Kali Santarana Upanishad. And Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, you might be able to read some Devanagari. Can you see the highlighted mantra and can you say what comes first?
It begins with Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Yes, it begins with Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So even in this edition, it is Hare Ram first. Then we go to Bengal and we hope that at least in a Bengali manuscript, we will find Hare Krishna first. So there is Rajendra Lal Mitra, who published his notices of Sanskrit manuscripts printed at the Baptist Mission Press in Calcutta, 1874 AD. Here he found a manuscript in the Vardhaman district of Bengal, and he listed this manuscript, and he has some very interesting observations. He says Harinam Upanishad. He says the name of the manuscript is Harinam Upanishad or Kali Santarana Upanishad. He says the place of deposit is in Vardhaman district in Bengal. He says an apocryphal Upanishad. Apocryphal means it is of dubious origin. We don't know where it originated, he says. And it is affiliated to the Atharva Ved, in which Hari, a name of Vishnu, is described as the only specific method for salvation in the present Kali age. It professes to have been first imparted by Brahma to Narad, but from its language and style, it appears to be a very modern composition, probably not so old as the time of Chaitanya. So this is his note on the Kali Santarana Upanishad. And even in the edition found in Bengal, it is Hare Ram first instead of Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, let's go even earlier in history. Dear devotees, there was a Sanskrit commentator on all 108 Upanishads, and his name was Upanishad Brahma Yogi. Around 1800 AD, he wrote a Sanskrit commentary on all 108 Upanishads. He belonged to the school of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, so he had no specific inclination whether Krishna comes first or Ram comes first. For him, both are equal. But around 1800s, he wrote his Sanskrit commentary, and in the edition that he had, also Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, you can see what comes first. Yes.
It's Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yes. So Hare Ram comes first. So I have highlighted below in his commentary also Hare Ram iti, Hare Rama iti. So In his commentary also, he has highlighted that Hare Ram, the verse begins with Hare Ram. So dear devotees, we have traced as back as 18th century, which means around 1700 AD. And in Bengal, in South India, in Western India, in Germany, in London, all the manuscripts are saying Hare Ram first. And I'm not saying that this is the conclusive evidence, but at least one thing is sure, most of the manuscripts are saying Hare Ram first instead of Hare Krishna. We can derive that conclusion safely by looking at so many sources from so many places around the world. Dear devotees, the main reading of the Kali Santarana Upanishad is Hare Ram first. And then some people think that Mahaprabhu reversed it so that it could be made available to all people in Kali Yuga. But that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who does not like even one word to be changed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, will that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reverse an entire Vedic mantra? Because during a conversation with Sri Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, Sri Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya suggested we should change one word in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Instead of Mukti Pade, he suggested Bhakti Pade. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, never make a single change in the writings of Sri Vyasadeva. You can interpret Mukti as Bhakti, but don't change the original. This is the nature of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not like to quote a single Siddhanta without giving Shastric proof. So why will Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu make such a big adjustment, that too in a Vedic literature? It does not sound very logical. Dear devotees, we will have to go searching for the Mahamantra elsewhere. And last time I had shown the Mahamantra as it is in Sri Radha Tantra. Dear devotees, Sri Radha Govindanath very honestly confirms. He says, Kali Santarana Upanishade Mahamantrati ei roop likhit drishta hoye. In the Kali Santarana Upanishad, the Mahamantra is written as follows. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He begins with that sequence, dear devotees. And then he says, Vedanugat Aupaurushaya Shastre Brahmand Purane Kintu. However, in the Vedic literature named Brahmand Puran, the Mahamantra is written as Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He says, Ityadi Rupe Drishta Hoy. And he says, Mahaprabhu u Brahmand Purana Katita Krame ei Mahamantrera Upadesh diya chhe. Mahaprabhu instructed the Mahamantra according to the sequence given in Brahmand Puran. This is what Sri Radha Govindanath is saying. Because, dear devotees, the Puranas are available to that section of the society which is restricted from the Vedas. And the Puranas are also available for all the Brahmanas, for the Kshatriyas, for the Vaishyas, for the entire human society. Puranas give all the benefit. Tantras also give all the benefit. So Sri Radha Govindanath is suggesting, he is saying that the Mahamantra was taken from Brahmand Puran. Now, we don't like to accept a claim just on face value. You'll have to give me chapter number and verse number. Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, just because Sri Radha Govindanath says that it is from Brahmanda Puran. So now end of topic. Now we should accept it as it is, right?
No, we'll need a reference.
We'll need a reference. So just as we check everything, even from any Vaishnava, whether they belong to our specific Guru Parampara or they don't belong to our specific Guru Parampara, we must have critical thinking and cross-verification of all the pramanas that have been given, so that claims made in previous centuries can live up to the test of time, dear devotees. Therefore, I immediately accessed Brahmand Mahapuranam. It is in front of you, an authentic edition published in Kashi, Varanasi. And in this Brahmand Puranam, published by Krishna Das Academy in Varanasi, I tried to see the index of verses at the end for the verses beginning with Ha. And I was hoping to find Hare Krishna or at least Hare Ram. And in the entire index, I cannot find Hare Krishna or Hare Ram. Dear devotees, I am a little disappointed because Sri Radha Govindanath made such a bold claim and I am not able to verify that the verse exists in the Brahmanda Puran. But dear devotees, many editions of the Puranas are like that. Many editions contain a lot of the sections, but some sections are not printed because the manuscript is not complete. Dear devotees, there is another edition of Brahmanda Puran, and this edition of Brahmanda Puran contains Uttar Khanda, a section named as Radha Hriday Khanda. The fourth edition was published by Sri Adhar Chandra Chakravarti in 1915 AD. And dear devotees, in the 6th chapter, verse number 55, I will highlight Dhāmeśvara Mahaprabhu. It's Bangla, but very similar to Devanagari. And it has Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, in a printed edition of the Brahmanda Puran, Uttar Khanda, 6th chapter, verse 55, dear devotees, I'll magnify the verse for you. We have Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We found our mantra. Sri Radha Govindanath was not making an empty claim in the air. He had studied very thoroughly, and the claim was made on the basis of that thorough study. What is the context in which the Mahamantra is quoted here? Because I need to give the context in which the Mahamantra is quoted here in the Brahmanda Puran. And in this particular section, what is happening is that Sri Maharaj Sri Vrishabhanu, he was desiring to worship Katyayani Devi. And as he was desiring to worship Katyayani Devi, there was an Akashvani, a sound of the gods from the sky, which told Maharaj Vrishabhanu that if you want your worship to be successful, go take a mantra from a sage named Kratu Muni, and he will tell you the means of perfection, the mantra for perfection. So Sri Vrishabhanu, he went to Sri Kratu Muni, and Kratu Muni told Maharaj Vrishabhanu that I am giving you a mantra which was originally given by Sri Vyasadev to Sri Romaharshan Sut. And what mantra is that? And then Sri Kratu Muni said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In this entire section, a sage named Kratu Muni is giving the Mahamantra to Maharaj Vrishabhanu, and this particular mantra is found in the Brahmanda Puran in this particular context. This, dear devotees, is Sri Mahamantra in the order in which Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu gave it to us. And therefore, there are those people who say that Gaudiya Vaishnavas reversed it, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reversed the Mahamantra and put Ram below and put Krishna above. And they should think about this, that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is an Acharya and an Acharya of a Vaishnava Sampradaya, the founder of a Vaishnava Sampradaya. And why will he try to twist a Vedic mantra? For there is no reason to twist a Vedic mantra when the mantra is available in the proper sequence in the Puranas. There is no need for Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu to do that. So therefore, by giving proper pramanas that the mantra exists in printed editions of the Brahmanda Puran, by giving these pramanas, I am establishing here that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu did not reverse any mantra from the Vedas. Also, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu will not give a Veda mantra to everyone in the human society. When Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu first instructed the Mahamantra, it was to the residents of Sri Navadvip Dham. And Mahaprabhu said and uttered the entire Mahamantra, just Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And if it would be a Veda mantra, Mahaprabhu would check the qualifications, who is eligible for Veda, who is not eligible for Veda. But Mahaprabhu just gave a general instruction to all the villagers. Iha japa giya sabe kariya nirbandha. Go perform japa, fix a vow and perform japa. Don't worry. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Ved mantras are not given like this. The last time somebody tried to give a secret mantra like this was Sri Ramanujacharya, who climbed on top of the temple and very loudly gave the secret mantra that his guru had given him. And for this, his guru had become very angry upon him because he said that you cannot give a secret Veda mantra like this to anyone and everyone. So, dear devotees, it is not the nature of acharyas to twist Vedic mantras, and usually acharyas don't openly give Vedic mantras. Sri Ramanujacharya is an exception and he did it for exceptional reasons. But at least Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu did not freely and openly give any Vedic mantra to anyone and everyone. The mantra was taken from sources which are accessible to all human beings on the planet. This, dear devotees, is the conclusion that we can understand here. This was the opinion of Sri Radha Govindanath. If we look at the earliest source of the Mahamantra in the Sampradaya, perhaps the earliest source of the Mahamantra in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is in the literature of Sri Dhyan Chandra Goswami named Gaur Govinda Archan Smaran Paddhati. And Sri Dhyan Chandra Goswami says, Sanat Kumar Samhitayam, in the Sanat Kumar Samhita, what is given? Hare Krishna Dviravrittau, Krishna Tadrik Tatha Hare, Hare Rama Tatha Rama, Tatha Tadrik Hare Manhu. The Sanat Kumar Samhita, it is said, Hare Krishna Dviravrittau, two instances of Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, followed by two instances of Krishna, followed by two instances of Hare, and then two instances of Hare Rama, followed by two instances of Rama, and finally two instances of Hare. This gives us the mantra, Manuhu. The original Sanskrit says Manuhu. Manuhu means mantra. This gives us the mantra. Which mantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is in the Gaur Govinda Archana Smaran Paddhati of Sri Dhyan Chandra Goswami. Dear devotees, there is a published edition of Sanat Kumar Samhita, published from Vrindavan by Sri Gadadhar Gaur Hari Press. But in this edition of the Sanat Kumar Samhita, this particular verse is not to be found. So therefore, dear devotees, whatever published editions of Sanat Kumar Samhita we have, this particular set of verses are not to be found in those published editions. But at least we have it in Sri Dhyan Chandra Goswami's manual, Gaur Govinda Archan Smaran Paddhati, and this is perhaps the earliest reference to the Hare Krishna mantra. And Sri Dhyan Chandra Goswami is not saying that it comes from Kali Santarana Upanishad. Sri Dhyan Chandra Goswami is saying it comes from Sanat Kumar Samhita. And the Sanat Kumar Samhita is not the Veda, it is Tantra. Dear devotees, once again, it comes from a Tantra. It comes from a literature accessible to the entirety of human society. Now, dear devotees, let's go to Sri Caitanya Bhagavat, where we might have missed a very important point, and I wish to highlight that important point. One of the first utterances of the Mahamantra is found in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu visited Bangladesh, and when he visited Bangladesh, east of Bengal, and when he was visiting Bangladesh at that point of time, he was teaching his students, and then Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was about to return from Bangladesh, there was a Brahmin whose name was Sri Tapan Mishra. And most of us are familiar with this name, Sri Tapan Mishra. And Sri Tapan Mishra, he was always confused about what is the ultimate goal of life, what should I do? And he used to chant a mantra of his Ishtadev, of his worshipable deity. but he was still confused about the goal of life and how to achieve it. One fine day, he got a dream where a devata, a god in his dream came, appeared and told him to visit Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is staying nearby. And he told that Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu will be able to give you all those answers. Shri Tapan Mishra went to meet Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu told him, see, in the 4 yugas, there are 4 processes. And then he says, Krite Yadhyayato Vishnum. And all of those things Mahaprabhu told him. And finally, Mahaprabhu told him the process for Kali Yuga. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Iva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Katiranyatha. And this verse is quoted in Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is Mahaprabhu telling Tapan Mishra that in Kali Yuga, the only means of deliverance is chanting Harinam. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way. Immediate next verse, Mahaprabhu says, see, Mahaprabhu quoted Harer Nam verse. And there are so many names of Hari. And immediately Mahaprabhu quotes which Hare Nam? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then he said, E shloka nama bali, lay maha mantra, shola nama batrisha, shara e tantra. Mahaprabhu said, and the entire Mahamantra is there. He said, Ei Shlokanam Bali, Lay Mahamantra. This chant is known as Mahamantra, and you should accept it. Sholanam Batrishakshar, Ei Tantra. This chant has 16 names and 32 syllables. Ei Tantra. Mahaprabhu says, Ei Tantra. This is the verdict of the Tantras. Directly, Mahaprabhu says, this is the verdict, this is the Tantra. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here says, of course, Tantra can also mean this is the conclusion, but Tantra also means this is the Shastra. This is what the Shastra says. And which Shastra? Who is directly saying, Ei Tantra. This is the verdict of the Tantras. Which Tantra says that Hare Krishna Mahamantra has 16 names and 32 syllables. Dear devotees, I showed last time, it was Sri Radha Tantram. And I showed an edition published from Varanasi, from Kashi. In that edition, it is very clearly mentioned. Shrunuyat harinamani shodashani prithak prithak Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Dvatrimshadaksharanyeva Kalau namani sarvada. Distinctly here, this Harinam of 16 terms. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. These names consisting of 32 syllables should always be uttered in Kali Yuga. So the same thing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I'll take you to the previous slide. The chant has 16 names and 32 syllables. This is Ei Tantra. This is the verdict of the Tantras. And at which Tantra? We have a printed edition of Sri Radha Tantra which says that it has 16 terms and 32 syllables. Dear devotees, I have also given the chapter number, the verse numbers, and I have also told you which printed edition. Last time I had said that it was printed from Sampurnanand Sanskrit Vishwavidyalaya in Varanasi. It was published from Sampurnanand Sanskrit University in Varanasi, in Kashi, and it was not printed by a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Dear devotees, so you can verify the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and the fact that it has, the Tantra says it has 16 words and 32 syllables. Is the same conclusion that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Sri Tapan Mishra in Bangladesh, dear devotees. So the Mahamantra occurs multiple times in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Once when Mahaprabhu was instructing the residents of Navadvip, once when Mahaprabhu was instructing Sri Tapan Mishra in Bangladesh, dear devotees. Also, very important thing to note, when Mahaprabhu was instructing Sri Tapan Mishra in Bangladesh, Mahaprabhu himself was not initiated by Sri Ishwarpuri. Very important to note that Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was not initiated by Shri Ishwar Puri at that particular point of time. So it is very clear that the Maha Mantra is a mantra which does not depend on Diksha, which does not depend on initiation. You can begin to chant it even without Diksha. Of course, for perfecting the process, for attaining Krishna Prem, you need to have a guru. But for beginning the process of utterance of Mahamantra, you do not need Diksha. And the best example of it is Mahaprabhu, who did not have Diksha from Sri Ishwar Puri, who gave it to Sri Tapan Mishra. Of course, Mahaprabhu is Bhagavan, but he was indicating a fact that this mantra does not depend on Diksha for you to begin uttering it. You can begin uttering it even without Diksha. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, it will be said, no diksham na cha satkriyam na cha purascharya managikshate mantroyam rasana sprigeva phalati Shri Krishna-namatmakaha. I will very quickly show that verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 15.110, which says that chanting of the Mahamantra does not depend on Diksha. This is the verse Madhya Leela 15.110. Akrishtihi krita chetasam sumanasam uchchatanam chamhasam achandalam. It is available all the way down to the lowest human in society, to the dog eater. No society appreciates dog eaters. No society in the world appreciates dog eaters. No, the devotees amuka loka sulabho. But no diksham, it says, it does not depend on initiation. The commentators explain what it means is that beginning the chanting of the Mahamantra does not depend on initiation. But for further progress, you need to take guidance from a guru. So this is Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 15.110. Srila Prabhupada in his translation says it is readily available to everyone, including the lowest type of man, the Chandal. And Srila Prabhupada says in translation, chanting the holy name does not depend on initiation. So you can begin chanting it even without initiation. This, dear devotees, is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also emphasized. And we are back to the presentation. So this is Sri Radha Tantram, which contains the exact description that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had given to Sri Tapan Mishra. Dear devotees, so once again, let us summarize the sources of the Mahamantra. The first source, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself says, Ei Tantra. So he directly, these are his words. This is the Tantra. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's own words are that the Mahamantra has been taken from a Tantra. Which Tantra? Could be Sanat Kumar Samhita, could be Sri Radha Tantra, or it may be Brahmand Puran. Maybe any, but from a literature which is accessible to all humans in society. Sri Dhyan Chandra Goswami's opinion is that the Mahamantra occurs in Sanat Kumar Samhita, but we don't have a published edition of it yet, which contains that quote on Mahamantra. Sri Radha Govindanath's opinion is that the Mahamantra originates in Brahmand Puran, Uttarakhand, Radha Hriday Khand, and we have a published edition which contains that reference. So very good. Other possibilities are that either it comes from Sri Radha Tantram, which matches the description given by Mahaprabhu exactly, or from Brahma Yamal, Ananta Samhita. There are quite a few references, but these are all unpublished. Sri Radha Tantram is published. So, dear devotees, but at least one fact is clear. There is no possibility of reversal of any Ved mantra by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because so many sources of the Mahamantra are available in the Tantras and Puranas, in the published editions. Why does Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu need to reverse any mantra from the Vedas? There is no need to play around with any Ved mantra when the mantra is available in its desired form in the Puranas and Tantras. And anyway, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's worshipable deity is Shri Krishna first, and the term Ram is also interpreted as Krishna by Mahaprabhu and his associates. So dear devotees, these are the main sources of the Mahamantra. And I have listed all of them, most of them in this particular table. So please note this very carefully. Now we can move ahead, dear devotees. Mahamantra Vyakhya, meanings of the Mahamantra. So there are so many meanings of the Mahamantra. which have been given by associates of Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and later Vaishnavas. We do not have the time to go through each and every explanation in great detail. But I will give a summary of which all personalities have given an explanation of Mahamantra, a short summary. And all of us who are interested in these summaries, we should look up the original detailed explanation by each respective personality. First is the explanation by Shri Vakreshwar Pandit, who is a direct associate of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. According to Shri Vakreshwar Pandit, and this explanation has been given in the book Tarak Brahma Mahamantra Naam Jap Ko Kirtan Vidhan. I had quoted this book last time and also uploaded a soft copy of this book in the Q&A group. According to his explanation, very shortly, Hare can either refer to Hari, who snatches away all avidya, beginningless ignorance and its effects, and Hare can also refer to Hara, Radha, who snatches away the mind of Krishna. The devotees, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas have said that the term Hare can also refer to Hara. Direct associate of Mahaprabhu has said that we don't need any other confirmation because the word of the Acharyas is final for us. The devotees, Krishna is the Lord of all bliss, son of Nanda Maharaj, delighter of Gokul, lotus-eyed Shyam Sundar, and the term Ram refers to the pinnacle of all expertise, the personified form of all joyous pastimes, the delighter of Sri Radha, Sri Ram. So this is his sum and summary, short, it is sum and substance of his particular explanation. For details, you will have to check his commentary. This is Shri Vakreshwar Pandit. Then comes Shri Haridas Thakur. There is an explanation attributed to Shri Haridas Thakur, but no source is specified. It is from the same book that I mentioned in the previous slide. Shri Haridas Thakur's explanation is fully Mahaprabhu centric. Hare also refers to Sri Radha, whose mood is personified in Mahaprabhu. Krishna also refers to Nanda Maharaj, who has appeared as Mahaprabhu. And Ram also refers to Mahaprabhu, who delights, Ramante, Ramate, within the hearts of the devotees. So all three terms refer to Mahaprabhu. So dear devotees, please note, when the Acharyas give an explanation, they don't mix Krishna Lila with Mahaprabhu's Lila. Either it is complete Krishna Lila or it is complete Mahaprabhu's Lila. But there is no mixture of Krishna Lila and Mahaprabhu Lila in the same explanation. Please try to understand this. So in Sri Haridas, in the explanation attributed to Sri Haridas Thakur, all three terms refer to Mahaprabhu. So you can chant away the entire mantra while offering it as seva unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But I will tell you that this explanation does not have a source. So please take it with a pinch of salt. And I would suggest taking explanations which are based on sources which have proper references. That is what I will suggest. Dear devotees, there is also an explanation by Sri Jiva Goswami where he says Hare refers to Sri Radha, who snatches away Krishna's mind. Krishna refers to Shyam Sundar, who attracts Karshati, the mind of Sri Radha through his flute play. And Ram refers to Krishna, who delights the senses of the gopis constantly. So you can look up the detailed explanation of the Mahamantra by Sri Jiva Goswami. There are multiple explanations. The devotees. Then the explanation by Sri Gopal Guru Goswami is also there, where he says Hare can refer either to Hari, Krishna, or Hara, Sri Radha. Krishna refers to the personification of all bliss, the son of Nanda Maharaj, and Ram refers to Krishna, who constantly delights Sri Radha. This is Sri Gopal Guru Goswami, whom Mahaprabhu himself gave the title of Guru. And then there is the explanation by Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, where Hare, Krishna, and Ram, all of them refer to Krishna. All of them. Sri Radha is meditating on the mantra, and Sri Radha is addressing Hare Krishna, and she is constantly thinking of Krishna in all the three terms. So this, dear devotees, these are the most prominent explanations of Mahamantra given by the previous Acharyas. Which explanation should we accept? So I said last time, I gave a quote from Sri Jiva Goswami, but also, yes, I forgot, Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur also has an explanation where Hare can refer to Krishna or Radha, Krishna refers to son of Nanda Maharaj, and Ram refers to Krishna, who is Radhika Raman. So which explanation to accept? I quoted last time, Sri Jiva Goswami, he says, Atha jape mantrarthasya nanatvepi purusharthanukula eva asau chintyaha. In relation to japa, he says, Srila Jiva Goswami says in Bhakti Sandarbha, even though there are many meanings of a mantra described, one should meditate only on the meaning which is conducive to the ultimate goal one wants to achieve. This freedom has been given to you, dear devotees. So, select a meaning which is most conducive to the end goal you want to achieve, but the meaning should come from an authentic previous acharya, and my recommendation is that it should be from an authentic documented source. Once you take an authentic meaning from the previous acharyas, which fits your desired perfection that you wish to achieve, have no fear. Immediately you can begin your mantra meditation on the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And of course, there is also Srila Prabhupada's explanation. O Krishna, O energy of Krishna, please engage me in your service. So Hare is O energy of Krishna, and Krishna and Ram both refer to Shri Krishna. So, O energy of Krishna, O Krishna, please engage me in your seva. So many explanations. If we try to do all the explanations in detail, my goodness, many more sessions will be required simply for covering the explanations. So my aim here is to simply point. See, this is what you need to look at. And then those who are interested, you can look at it in detail. I have given the reference, I have given the name of the book, and you can look at it in detail. There are many English translations of these explanations also available, so you can look at those respective editions. All right. I always suggest the original sources in Sanskrit or Bengali so that devotees know what are the original sources from which it came. And then you can look up any translations of them wherever they are available. So, dear devotees, once again, I'd like to highlight a very important point. We should come back to the verse Cheto Darpana Marjanam, because we went so much exploring Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so much into exploration of Mahamantra. Now we should come back gradually to the original verse. Dear devotees, we know that Sri Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu has given us stages of progress of bhakti. Adau Shraddha, Tatah Sadhu Sangha, Tatha Bhajan Kriya. We know those stages of progress in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Also, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has also given 14 stages of progress, which are very similar to Sri Rupa Goswami's Adau Shraddha verse, Sri Rupa Goswami's sequence. I'll give here the sequence of progress, 14 stages of progress of a devotee that Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives. And the reason why I am giving is because it has very close correlation with our first verse of Shri Caitanya-Siksastakam. Dear devotees, please hear carefully. These are the 14 stages through which a devotee usually passes before they attain perfection. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his commentary, Sarartha Darshini, commentary to Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, he composes some verses. Please hear. Satam kripam mahatseva shraddha gurupadashraya bhajaneshu spriha bhakti ranartha pagamastata nishtha ruchiratha sakti rati premath darshanam harer madhuryanubhava ityarthasyushchaturdasha. Iti arthasyushchaturdasha. These are the 14 arthas, progressive attainments. First, satam kripa, mercy of sadhus. Second, mahat seva, service to those sadhus. Third, shraddha, faith in the revealed scriptures, Vedic scriptures. Fourth, guru padashraya, obtaining shelter of a guru. Fifth, after obtaining shelter of a guru, bhajane, shu spriha, a desire to perform sincere bhajan, sincere bhakti. Sixth, bhakti, actual performance of bhajan. Seventh, anartha pagamastata, destruction of anarthas. Eighth, nishtha, becoming fixed on the path of sadhan bhakti. Ninth, ruchi, taste begins. Atha sakti, 10th is asakti. 11th is rati, rati means the stage of bhav, sthai bhav. 12th is prema, and prema is not where it stops. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says 13th is darshanam, then you get direct vision of the Lord of Bhagavan within the heart or sometimes even through the eyes. And final, Harer Madhurya Anubhava, Madhurya Anubhava, complete experience of the sweetness of Sri Hari. Iti Artha, these are the stages of attainments, 14 progressive attainments that a devotee usually goes through. Dear devotees, if we look very carefully at our verse in discussion, the first adjective was Cheto Darpanamarjanam. Śrī-kṛṣṇa-saṅkīrtanam begins to cleanse the mirror of the heart. It cleanses the mirror of the heart. This happens at the stage of anartha nivritti, which was the seventh stage described in the previous verse. Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam, complete cessation of the burning of material existence. It happens when anartha nivritti is fully done. Shreyah Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, true good fortune starts blossoming when Bhav Bhakti arises, 11th stage. Vidya Vadhu Jivanam, and the life of all knowledge, the life of all the scriptures, Prema, is the stage where Sankirtan gives this effect. Finally, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, this particular experience happens at darshan, because in darshan, when you see Bhagwan, and Madhurya Anubhav, when you experience the sweetness of Bhagwan, it keeps on increasing and increasing and increasing. And these five can be experienced in the sadhaka's body, in the body of the practitioner. Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam, then every step is a dance, every statement is a song. This starts happening in the spiritual world, in the perfected Siddha Deha. And Sarvatma Snapanam, completely drenched in all varieties of happiness, Mahabhav, that happens also in the perfected Siddha Deha. Dear devotees, the 7 adjectives of Śrī-kṛṣṇa-saṅkīrtanam, they roughly correspond to the various stages of progression in one's bhakti. Dear devotees, in this way, Sarvatma Snapanam, Param vijayate, supremely victorious, is Śrī-kṛṣṇa-saṅkīrtanam. Is the Sankirtan of Shri, Hare, and Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Dear devotees, I'll pause my speech here. Yadatra Skhalitam Kinchit, Vidvam Saha Purayantu Tat, Yadatra Saushthavam Kinchit, Tad Guru Reva Me Nahi. Yadatra Skhalitam Kinchit. If there are any mistakes in what I spoke, Vidvam Saha, your learned devotees, Purayantu Tat, please correct any mistakes. But Yadatra Saushthavam Kinchit, if there's anything nice, please remember Tad Guru Reva. It belongs to my Gurujanas. Me Nahi. It doesn't belong to me. Once again, thank you very much, Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, for kindly being present here today. I'm very grateful to all the viewers for kindly and patiently listening to the talk. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Gaur. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari Bo. Thank you so much, dear Hari Parshad Prabhu, for a wonderful class and something that's taken so much research. I've heard a little bit about these controversies about the order of the Mahamantra, but I've never seen such an in-depth research about the question itself and source text. It's really, really amazing. So thank you for this contribution to modern day Vaishnavism. I think it's really historic. We're going to go now to questions and answers. We have a few requests or guidelines for you. But before we do, if you're listening online and you would like to join our talks live, then you can just send an email to this email address that you see on the screen. You can pause and write it down, but make sure to include your WhatsApp number and country code. We have a WhatsApp group, and so we'll add you to it, and then there's links to the live classes. And so for the questions and answers, please focus your questions on today's class. I know Hari Parshad Prabhu is such a wonderful scholar that we might have a lot of questions we want to ask him, but we should focus on today's class. And please don't ask any political or loaded questions, bringing any personality or institution into question. We want to keep things philosophical and appropriate in this group. Also, you might feel like you want to ask several questions in a row to really go in depth and investigate a topic that's on your mind, but please keep in mind that there's other people who want to ask questions. And so we just ask that you ask one question at a time with a possible quick follow-up to clarify, and then you can get back in line to let someone else ask a question. And if you have a very precise question that would take some research, please save it for the WhatsApp group. Anything you want to add, Hari Parsha Prabhu?
Yeah, just let the Q&A be informal. Just it's an informal setting. The class is in an informal setting, so let the Q&A be informal. That's all.
All right, and I'll open up the chat now for everyone if you'd like to write your question in the chat, but we do give preference to people who raise their hands. Our first question is from Ajay Richarya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Project, Redmat Pranam. It was very amazing class with so much information got clarified. Actually, my question is with the sources of Kali Santran Upanishad. It was with the Hare Ram mantra. Just below that, it was written Iti Shodashakam Namnam Kali Kalmashanashanam. So, but in Kali Yuga, the Hare Ram mantra is not accessible to everyone. So, why it is at Kali Kalmashanashanam, and for Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if it is so pure and for everyone in the Kali Yuga, so why it is limited to very few places and not everywhere?
So the answer to that query was given in the previous session where it was quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam that Stri Shudra Dvijabandhunam Trayina Shruti Gochara. I will quote that verse again. It is 1:425, and I will share my screen. Stri Shudra Dvijabandhunam Trayina Shruti Gochara. For those who are born as ladies, for those who are born as Shudras, for those who are born as Brahmanas but have no conduct of the Brahmanas. Just by family connection, they are Brahmanas. They are not following the rules and regulations. For all of them, Trayi, the three Vedas, are not Shruti Gochara, are not accessible to their ears. So this is the conclusion by Sri Vyasadeva that the Vedas are inaccessible to these categories of individuals. And most people in Kali Yuga fit into this. 99.9% of the people will fit into these three categories. So, since Kali Santran Upanishad is within the Shruti, within an Upanishad of the Atharva Ved, therefore, it automatically becomes inaccessible for all these categories of individuals because it is Shruti. And by default, Shruti is inaccessible for most people. But for the people for whom it is accessible, it definitely destroys all the sins as it promises. So those who are initiated as Dvijas and those who have been given the mantra in the Kali Santrana Upanishad in Guru Parampara, they can definitely chant it, and they can chant it in the order in which it is given in the Upanishad. But for those who are not eligible for the Vedas, they'll have to find another route, and the other route comes from the Puranas and Tantras. So that is the short answer to your query. Does it satisfy your query?
Yeah, up to some extent, Prabhuji, yes.
All right. So also, I will quote, Prabhu, one more thing I will quote. Do you read Devanagari?
Yes, I do.
So I will share Kali Santarana Upanishad with you. And Prabhu, I will, this is Kali Santarana Upanishad. Can you see on the screen? Yes?
Yes, I can, yes.
Yes. So can you see which is the order of the mantra? What comes first?
Hare Ram.
All right. And Prabhu, below, Punar Naradaha Papracha. Again, Narad asked, Bhagavan ko asya vidhi. What are the rules for chanting this mantra? Tam hovacha nasya vidhir. So, Sri Brahma said there is no vidhi, but then he keeps a condition. Sarvada shuchir ashuchir va. Always, whether pure or impure. Pathan, and then can you please read the next term, Prabhu? What is the next term, immediate next term after Pathan?
Brahmana.
Brahmana. I hope you're able to understand. So Sri Brahma in the Upanishads gives the name of the person who can utter the Mahamantra as it is given in the Upanishad. Please tell me, Ajay Prabhu, who is spoken of by Sri Brahma here?
Brahmana.
Brahmana. So, are we correct in understanding that the Vedas are restricted to a certain class of people? I hope now it satisfies your query. It's the Upanishad itself says that
Yeah.
Brahmana, the candidate for the Upanishad, is given in the Upanishad itself. But did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu restrict the Mahamantra for only for a Brahmana?
No.
No. So, of course, the Mahamantra did not come from Kalisantarana Upanishad. That is it. Right? Thank you.
Yes, Prajay.
Next, we have Premananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for such a glorious class. I don't know how you find all these manuscripts. I have no idea. My question is, I think there is still a gap in my understanding. You mentioned about Brahmanda Puran where Kratu Muni quoted this Mahamantra in the reversed order. So did he reverse the order of Mahamantra or was it or he
No.
quoted from some?
No. He said this is the order in which Sri Vyasadeva gave Romharshan Sutta. So Sri Romharshan Sut is also not from the Brahmana, Kshatriya or Vaishya community. He is from the Sut community, which is not counted within the Dvijas, within Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya. So when Sri Vyasadeva gave the mantra to Romharshan Sut, he gave it in the order of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And it does not mean that Sri Vyasadeva flipped it. Eternally, it is in both orders. Eternally, it is in the order with Hare Ram first. Eternally, it is in the order with Hare Krishna first also.
Okay.
But see, the order which is suitable for all humans in general is Hare Krishna first. And the order which is suitable only for a restricted set of people is given in the Upanishad. So that is what it is. All right?
Okay, thank you. Wonderful.
Next, we have Shashank Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Can you hear my voice well?
Yeah.
Prabhuji, you are giving the reference to Brahmanda Purana and also Sanat Kumara Samhita, which I believe is a part of Shiva Purana. And my understanding is that these Puranas are actually Rajasic and Tamasic. But why is it that, Hare Krishna mantra, we have to look into those Puranas? Because obviously we should be expecting them in the Satvika Puranas, not in the Rajasic and Tamasic. So that looks a little bit unusual. Why is it that?
Okay. Let me quote Srila Jiva Goswami Bhagavad Sandarbha Anuched 26 as an answer to that. Prabhu, I am sharing my screen. In Bhagavad Sandarbha, Sri Jiva Goswami quotes. Can you see this? Shiva Shastrepi Tadgrayam Vishnu Shastropayogi Yat. Can you, Prabhu, translate very quickly for us? I don't know if you are muted or unmuted. Prabhu, can we unmute him? Dhāmeśvara Mahaprabhu.
Yes. Okay,
So,
unmuted.
yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm sorry. Yeah. You want me to read that or you want me to translate it? What you?
Yeah. Can you translate it, Prabhu, or should I translate it? Please tell me.
You please translate it, Prabhu.
Okay. Shiva Shastrepi Tadgrahyam. Even from literature spoken by Bhagwan Shiva, we should accept that which is Vishnu Shastra Upayogiyat, which is very helpful for the Vaishnavas. This is Sri Jiva Goswami's. It is his very clear statement in the Bhagavad Sandarbha, Anuched number 26. Below he starts explaining, about why we can accept it, because even within those shastras there are certain sections which may be in Shuddha Sattva or which may be in Sattva Guna, and he says Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam, from Sattva gives rise to transcendental knowledge. So And he says, Satvika Purananam Sarva Urdhva Jnanam Ityeva Labhyate. So Satvika Puranas give the topmost knowledge, we understand that. But even in other Puranas, if there is something which is Satvik, Shiva Shastrepi Tadgrahayam Vishnu Shastra Upayogiyat. This is what Sri Jiva Goswami says in Bhagavad Sandarbha. So I hope that answers your query to some degree of satisfaction.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Omkar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandatanam. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji, today. Prabhuji, I had this question about this thing. You explained like Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Basically, Mahaprabhu is given from tantras. I had like one understanding about it. I just wanted to clarify this thing. It is seen that many a times the mantras which are found in Vedas, the simplified form of it is found in Puranas and also in Tantras, like also related to Gopal mantra and many other mantras. And I've also heard the acharyas like Vedanta Deshikan, they basically the Vedic mantra, they expressed it in a form of a stotra or a praise. So that is a different part, but my point was like eternally it can be said that Mahamantra, to make it accessible to all, Supreme Lord has kept it in the Puranas and Tantras in this form also. Will this be a correct understanding?
Yeah. So both forms of the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna first and Hare Ram first, are eternal. Both of us agree on this? Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, true.
And the form which is given with Hare Ram first is found in the Shruti, whereas the form with Hare Krishna first is found in the Purana and Tantras. We agree on this?
Yes. Yes.
So then we are on same page.
Yes. I just wanted to clarify this thing, that many of the mantras are like in a simplified form. They are present in Puranas, like Vedic mantras, but naturally they are. Of
course, they are present. In the Rig Veda, there is that very, very cryptic mantra. Chatvari Shringa Trayo Asya Pada. The bull has 4 legs, 4 horns, 3 legs, 2 heads, 7 hands. And what is the meaning of that? And the Srimad Bhagavatam gives the simplified understanding of that. Namo Dvishirshne Tripade. चतुश्रृंगाय तंतवे सप्तहस्ताय यज्ञाय त्रयविद्यात्मने नमः. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 8:16-31. Namo Dvishirshne Tripade Chatushringaya Tantave. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the Supreme Lord, who has 2 heads. The Rig Veda hymn said the bull has 2 heads. But the Purana explains in simpler language what are the meaning of the 2 heads. Then the Rig Veda hymn said the bull has 3 legs. And then the Purana explains what is the simplified meaning: 4 horns, 7 hands. And in this way, the Puranas give a simplified understanding of the cryptic Vedic verses, because Vedic verses often contain parokshavad. Parokshavad is cryptic speech, and Sri Vyasadeva often sheds light on the cryptic speech which is given in the Vedas. So I hope that clarifies.
Yes, true. And just one small reference I wanted to ask from the slide. You quoted about the Gaur Govind Smaranachan Paddhati. I think I read in the same Paddhati that I think he also quotes Brahmanda Puran there also, I think.
Yes. But the first reference he comes up with is Sanat Kumar Samhita. And Sanat Kumar Samhita is basically, it is Tantra. Because all these Samhitas, Ananta Samhita, Sanat Kumar Samhita, all these are basically Tantras. So Brahmand Puran is also there. And we have located the verse in the Brahmand Puran, and Sanat Kumar Samhita is also there, but there is no printed edition available which contains that reference. So since Brahmand Puran was already covered in the explanation of Sri Radha Govindanath, so we took up Sanat Kumar Samhita from Sri Dhyan Chandra Goswami.
Yes. Thank you. Done.
Next we have Vishwadeep Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Prabhuji, thank you for the class. And it was more refined information. Even this question was previously raised many times to you. So there were many answers you gave. but this time it was such a thorough research. So I'm so happy that now at least we have also a strong base to show someone that we also have a point to make. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Uh, Prabhu, about Tantra, I have a question that Tantra are generally known as agamas, and it is said by Lord Shiva.
Mainly
So
by Lord Shiva.
mainly by Lord Shiva. Yeah, mainly by Lord Shiva. So in part of Nigamas, we have a proper sort of to say that we have list of what are the books in Nigamas. Like in even in Bhagavatam, we have about what are the Vedas, what are the Puranas. In Upanishad also we have list of Upanishad. So when we are talking about tantras, so as you were saying that when we talk about tantra, a negative connotation come to our mind. So that is especially for the Vamachar, especially the place I live. The Vamachar is very much prominent, and many tantras they quote whose Paddhati looks very much weird. So sometimes it confuses us that is it really authentic that tantra even for tamasic people? So that's a question sometimes comes to my mind. So how do we prove authenticity of a tantra? That
How do
if
we
it is
how do we prove the authenticity of a tantra? See, there are even the Buddhists wrote tantras.
yeah.
There are many Buddhists also wrote tantras. You have many Buddhist tantras if you see, because
Hmm.
and even the Jains wrote Puranas. There is Padma
Hmm.
Puran written by Jain, by Jain Sampradaya. So you go searching for Padma Puran, accidentally you will come up with the Padma Puran written by the Jain Sampradaya, and then you may end up reading it. So what has happened is that the Tantras, the Puranas, there have been many attempts to copy the structure of the Tantras and Puranas. And not only that, even the Upanishads. So many Upanishads which are of very dubious origin. And so even with the Shruti, even with the Vedas, and even with the Rig Veda, there are so many hymns which are of dubious origin. So when in Pune, when an edition of the Rig Veda was published by Tilak Vidyapith in Pune, and they did a very thorough research. And when they did that, when they published it along with the commentary of Sri Sayanacharya, and when they published it with the commentary of Sayanacharya, they also included a section at the end which is called as Khila. Khila section means that which remains. So in this Khilani means whatever is attributed to Rig Veda. We don't know whether it is Rig Veda or not. So, many mantras. Then he gives an introduction. Rig Veda has so many branches, and these branches have so many manuscripts, and so many manuscripts have so many hymns. So he gives all the details, and then he starts giving all the hymns which are attributed to the Rig Veda, and then all these hymns are quoted by the editors. So many now. How will we determine which hymn belongs to the Rig Veda and which doesn't belong to the Rig Veda? So the problem is not only with the tantras, the problem is also with the Vedas. The best way to determine it is if in a long standing guru disciple tradition, it has been consistently quoted. I hope you are able to understand. In a long standing guru disciple tradition, it has been consistently quoted and commented upon. Commentators also help a lot to preserve the bona fideness of a particular text. For example, Srimad Bhagavatam, because of the commentary, so many commentators from South India, from North India. So it is very difficult to add something to Srimad Bhagavatam or to interpolate something within the Srimad Bhagavatam because it won't match with what the commentators have said. So therefore, Sri Jiva Goswami has said, Samprati Pracharatsu. It should be very widely spread, widely accepted. It should be. Not that in a remote corner somewhere somebody accepts it and then in another part of India nobody knows about it. So Pracharatsu, it should be widespread. Brahmand Puran is widespread. I hope you're able to understand. Tantras may not be so widespread, but at least we found our Mahamantra in a Puran, we found it in Tantra, we found it in many places. Not one place, but many places. So that gives a lot of authenticity. But if there is where there's some Tantra which is quoted very rarely, only in a few places, it may be genuine, may not be genuine, but you will need to find a Guru Parampara which attests to its authenticity from thousands of years. That is the way. And therefore, many of these tantras which were lost and which were, which are very rare, were published by a very great expert on the tantras whose name was Shri Gopinath Kaviraj. So Shri Gopinath Kaviraj published it. Can you read the name of the book he published?
Luptagama Sangraha.
Lupta Agama Sangraha. Lupta Agama means those which were lost. Many tantras which were lost, he published them. Lupta Agama Sangraha. So many of these may be dubious, you don't know. But many of these may be genuine. We don't know. And so many he quotes. Achintya Agama, Advayollas, Anant Vijayagama, Aniruddha, Anuttar Bhattaraka, Anuttarashtakam, Anupratyabhigya. Many of these are related to Kashmir Shaivism. So, in this way, only via Guru Parampara you will know, long-standing Guru Parampara, you will know which one is authentic, which one is not authentic. It should have a solid tradition of being supported by many Guru Paramparas and solid tradition of commentary. That is what it is. All right?
Just a confirmation. So, in case of this Tamasic Tantras, there are, like in our Vaishnav philosophy or Advaita philosophy, we have such a tradition of commenting on a text, and it's a very good tradition. But sometimes it is not found in those Tamasic. Even in Puranas, we do not find so many commentaries. So actually, there is no way uh, to say that if it is authentic or not, for our part at least.
For how it is difficult to say. The Puranas are more or less authentic, the editions that are found. But if you are looking for rare tantras, then it is very difficult, to determine whether it is authentic or not. So you will need a very long-standing Guru Parampara in order to determine the authenticity of a particular text. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next, we have a question from Subhadra Mai Mataji. She says, as women were not accessible to chant mantras in earlier ages, what was their means for God realization and liberation?
So there is a refined answer to this query. Previously, women were categorized into two groups. One group was known as Brahmavadini, one group was known as Sadyovadhu. The Brahmavadini, and this is spoken by Harit Muni in Harit Smriti. Dvivida Striya, Brahmavadinya Sadyovadvascha. I remember the Sanskrit that Harit Muni says two types of ladies, Brahmavadinis and Sadyovadhu. Who is Brahmavadini? Brahmavadini is the lady who is deeply interested in studying the Vedic literature, does not wish to get married, only wishes to study throughout her life, and is born in a good family. Such a lady can be initiated into the Vedas as an exception, not as a rule, as an exception. She has a very strong desire to study the Vedas. Example of such ladies is found in the Srimad Bhagavatam 4.1.64. I will share my screen. The original verse contains the term Brahmavadini. तेभ्यो दधार कन्ये द्वे वयूनां धारिणीं स्वधा उभे ते ब्रह्मवादिन्यौ ज्ञान विज्ञान पारगे. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.164. Here you can see the term Brahmavadinyo, dual case of the term Brahmavadini. So it is referring to two Brahmavadini ladies. Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, can you please read the translation?
Svadha, who was offered to the Pitas, begot two daughters named Vayuna and Dharini, both of whom were impersonalists and were expert in transcendental and Vedic knowledge.
So we have examples of ladies who were initiated into the Vedas, right here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But this is an exceptional case. Regular case are known as Sadyovadhu. They are not so much interested in studying. So let them go through the standard process of getting married, going through Varnashram, And in this way, there are two categories of ladies. And even for those ladies, what is applicable for the rest of the human society is also applicable for them. They can hear the Puranas, they can get initiated by a guru on the path of the Tantras, they can get those respective mantras, and they can attain the very same destination or even higher destination than what is attained by a Brahmana. So that is the answer to the query. The destination will not differ. The destination will be the same, but the process is slightly different. That's all. That is the answer to the query.
We have a question from Krishna Prabhu. Prabhuji, when we say Vedas are only for Dvijas, so are we taking Dvijas by birth or guna?
Vedas are only for Dvijas. Are we taking Dvijas by birth or by guna? There is difference of opinion about this. Some individuals, some groups of spiritualists say Dvijas should be taken by birth mainly, and some say they should be taken by guna. Now, those who say they should be taken by guna, they are also giving supportive arguments, and those who say by birth, they also give their supportive arguments. Traditionally, at the time of Lord Krishna, when Krishna was present 5,000 years ago, it was mainly taken by birth. This is what is the conclusion. Thank you.
Next we have Kamala Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. My humble obeisances at the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a beautiful explanation of each and every word. Like we have been, reading Siksastakam for so long, but yet never understood such deep meanings and so much detailed research that you do. It is our great fortune to have your association and get so much knowledge that sometimes for me, I'm simple-headed, so it's sometimes hard to digest for me, but yeah, I keep on listening, so maybe I'll improve someday.
Thank you. Thank you, Mata. Thank you.
So Prabhuji, my question here is in relation to the question that was asked regarding women scholars. So what was their role in the society, Prabhuji, and what exactly were they doing, like the Brahmavadinis that we discussed?
Yeah. So your question is for those exceptional situations when women would become Vedic scholars, what was their role in society? Their role in society was to live the life of a brahmacharini. They will not get married. And when they will not get married, what will they do? So in the Amar Kosh, there is an indication given of that. I will quickly pull out Amar Kosh. In Amar Kosh, there is a term which says Acharya. Acharya means a female teacher of the Vedas. So I will very quickly pull out the reference from the Amar Kosh, because this particular, in the Amar Kosh, it is specified that there are certain ladies who become acharyas. Acharyas means a lady teacher. And let me very quickly show you this particular reference. I'm sharing my screen, Mataji. You can read Devanagari. So I will request you to read certain sections. All right. Can you see here? Syad Acharyapi cha swatah. Can you see that, Mataji?
Yes.
So Acharya api. So above is Upadhyayapi Upadhyayi. Upadhyayi is a lady who is, the commentator says Swayam Vidya Upadeshini, who gives instructions on Vidya to others. Syad Acharyapi cha swatah. And Swayam Mantra Vyakhyatryah. She even gives instructions on Vedic mantras to others. So in the Amar Kosh, there are two terms, Upadhyayi and Acharya. Both are meant for lady scholars of the Vedas. After remaining brahmacharinis, then later they get the eligibility to teach it to others. But these are the exception, not the rules. Most ladies fall in the category of Sadhyo Vadhu. Sadhyo means immediate. Vadhu means wedding. As soon as they attain a suitable age, immediately they should be married. So this is Sadhyo Vadhu. But exceptionally, they may be eligible for Vedas. And that exceptionally doesn't mean that they will self-determine, oh, by my own determination I will become. No, no. An existing acharya of the Vedas, of the four Vedas, should determine by testing whether they have the required aptitude to explain the Shastra, to understand the Shastra. So that is what, after determination, they will be given permission to remain brahmacharini, and the function that a brahmachari performs in the society, that same function they will perform in the society. But there are exceptions, not the rule. So it doesn't disturb the mainstream of the society. That is the answer to your query. Right?
So just a little follow-up, Prabhuji. So as you mentioned that they used their upadhyay and acharya. So were they teaching in the gurukulas, or were they teaching in the women folk in the society? How was it like?
They were staying at their own home, and they had their own independent gurukul, because the Harit Smriti says for them there is no separate going to gurukul. They stay at home and learn from a guru who is appointed by the father. So they study at home, and later they also teach at their own home. They stay with the father throughout their life. That is the answer. Right?
Got it. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Next, we have a question from Maya Narsingh Rao Prabhu. And he says, Prabhu, with utmost respect and reverence, may I inquire whether all the previous acharyas who diligently defended the order of the Mahamantra, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, based on the Kali-santarana Upanishad, were unaware of the reasoning found in the Tantras? Since none of them cited the Agamas as the authoritative source for establishing the mantra sequence, does this mean that this understanding was not known to them? It appears that you are the only one who has discovered the exact source. I would be grateful if you could kindly clarify this while honoring the wisdom of our exalted acharyas.
The question is a loaded question, because it assumes that the previous acharyas have cited Kali-santarana Upanishad. And I have specified many times that the immediate associates of Mahaprabhu, the six Goswamis, or the next generation of Mahaprabhu did not quote Kali-santarana Upanishad as the source of the Mahamantra. So when the question is saying that the previous acharyas defended the order of Mahamantra based on Kali-santarana Upanishad, well, most of the associates of Mahaprabhu did not list Kali-santarana Upanishad as the source of the Mahamantra. So the question needs to be reanalyzed. Also, I had specified that there may be editions of Kali-santarana Upanishad with Hare Krishna first. And very carefully I have said, but most editions have Hare Ram first. Most editions have Hare Ram first. I did not say that all editions have Hare Ram first. Most editions have Hare Ram first. There may be editions which have Hare Krishna first. And the acharyas may have said this is the Kali-santarana Upanishad but the fact is that those very acharyas, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, also specified the other sources of the Mahamantra, such as Radha Tantra, Ananta Samhita, etc. And they did not say that the Kali-santarana Upanishad is the only source from which the Mahamantra came. At least I have not seen them saying that the Kali-santarana Upanishad is the only source from which it came. The only argument that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada gave is that the Kali-santarana Upanishad has Hare Krishna first, Hare Ram later. And it may be present in certain editions of the Kali-santarana Upanishad. There is no denying that fact. But the editions which are available to us from all over India, most of them contain Hare Ram first, and then we have to give an explanation which makes sense according to what is available right in front of our eyes. No, I can't just blindly deny all these editions which are available in front of us. And anyways, it doesn't concern, it is not of big concern, because the Mahamantra primarily came from the Tantras and Puranas. So that is what it is. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur himself also said in the purport that the Vedas are inaccessible to the people in general. I will show where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has said this, so that it will become very clear. In 11.5.31, Nana Tantra Vidhanena Kalavapi Tatha Shrunu, Dhāmeśvara Mahaprabhu, I will share my screen. You kindly read the highlighted portion of the purport that I am telling you. Yes, Prabhu. Please.
According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the word Nana Tantra Vidhanena indicates the importance in Kali Yuga of the Vaishnava scriptures known as the Pancharatras or Sattvata Pancharatras. It is stated in the Bhagavatam, Sri Shuddha Drija Bandhunam Tvai Na Shruti-gochara. In Kali Yuga, it is impossible for ordinary people to perform highly technical sacrifices or the unbearable penances of the mystic yoga system.
Yes, and please read the last sentence.
Such standard Vedic processes are practically inaccessible for the spiritually retarded population of Kali Yuga.
So that is what I have been saying in the entire talk. What Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, the verse that he quoted, Sri Shudra Dvija Bandhuna, that's the same verse I quoted. He's also saying that Vedas are not accessible for the retarded population of Kali Yuga. So how can we claim that the mantra came from the Vedas? Will Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada not contradict himself if he says that the mantra came from the Vedas, but the Vedas are inaccessible to the... Obviously, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also listed the other sources of the Mahamantra, such as Radha Tantra, Ananta Samhita, Brahmand Puran, etc. There is common agreement in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya upon this. It's not a point of debate or discussion. The only difference of opinion is that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that originally the Mahamantra has to be Hare Krishna first and then Hare Ram. And which the other Sampradayas say, no, it is Hare Ram first and then Hare Krishna. Whatever the order, at least we have Hare Krishna first in the sources that we need it to be. We have Hare Krishna first in the Puranas, in the Tantras, etc. And that is sufficient for us. That is the sum and substance. I hope that satisfies the query.
So you mean it would be a problem if in the Upanishad it was Hare Krishna first, but then in all the Puranas it was Hare Rama first?
Of course, yeah. Then
because
then Mahaprabhu inverted the mantra in the Puranas and gave it. That would be a problem, But or that Mahaprabhu gave an Upanishad mantra to everybody. That would be another problem because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur himself is saying that Vedic literature is inaccessible for the retarded population of Kali Yuga. In his own words, he is saying. So how will he contradict his own self? So in this way, we have to understand and harmonize the understanding even by the previous acharyas. All the acharyas will fall in one straight line if you accept the simple conclusion that the Mahamantra originates in the Tantras with Hare Krishna first. It's very simple.
Thank you. Next we have Ajay. I think did I already call on Ajay Richarya?
Yeah.
Okay, well then we'll go to Ananta Shesha Prabhu. Ananta Shesha Prabhu, please unmute. Ananta Shesha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Yeah, my pranams.
I'll be right back.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but your voice is breaking on and off. Please try.
Hear me?
I can't hear you.
Sorry, it's not good here.
Yeah, maybe you can type your query in the comment box and I'll have a
I'll
look
just
at it.
definitely.
Yeah. All right.
I'm back.
All
Okay,
right.
so next we have Ananga Mohan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandatanam, and now Hare Krishna to all the Vaishnava. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful research and profound dissemination of the knowledge. Prabhuji, my question is in certain branches of Chaitanya tree, the Panchratrik Vidhi is given for the initiation, and Gayatri Mantra is also given during the initiation. So, whether one is eligible to chant the Vedic mantras by the Panchratrik Vidhi, because in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it was stated that one is eligible for Som Yagya. So, what is your opinion about that?
Okay. So the question, let me summarize. In certain branches of Mahaprabhu Sampradaya, Vedic mantras are given to everyone during Diksha, during second initiation, what they call second initiation. In some branches, it is only given to those who are born as Brahman. Actually, the only Tantric mantras are given and Vedic mantras are received from family tradition. So that is what it is. So But Sri Rupa Goswami has said in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, has quoted that even the dog eater becomes eligible for Vedic sacrifices. There is another very important verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Very important verse. I will try to point out this verse because Sri Rupa Goswami has put this verse in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and maybe previously we have not paid attention to this verse, but I'll share this verse on the screen, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And this verse is 1-261, 1-262. Bhakti. Sarve dhikarino yatra hari bhaktau yatha nripa. All people are eligible for hari bhakti, which is okay. But then he quotes a verse from Kashi Khand, from the Puranas. Antyaja api tadrashtre. Antyaja, even the people outside the Varnashram system, in that kingdom, some kingdom, Shankha, Chakra, Anka Dharina. They took on symbols of Shankha, Chakra, etc. Samprapya Vaishnavim Diksham, and they got Diksha. Anand Mohan Prabhu, which Diksha?
Vaishnavi Diksha.
Vaishnavi Diksha. And he says Dikshita Iva Sambhu. And they became just like Dikshitas, like Brahmanas, because Dikshit basically means Dikshit is a surname of a Brahmana. So Dikshita Iva Sambhu. They became just like Dikshitas. So Srila Rupa Goswami, Shrijiv Goswami says in the commentary, Dikshita Yagika. Dikshita means they became like performers of Yagya. So here is a proof that Sri Rupa Goswami is giving in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which says that those who took up Vaishnavi Diksha became just like the Yagya Brahmanas. Now, just like Yagya Brahmanas and became exactly Yagya Brahmanas, somebody may say, because the term Eva is there. Eva means they became like. So somebody may say they became like means they became respect worthy like. Or somebody may say they did not take all the characteristics of the Brahmanas. Somebody may say like that. So the answer to this is that even those who are giving Brahmin initiation, second initiation, they are not giving all the rights of the Brahmanas. The second initiation or Brahmin initiation, which is given in certain societies of Mahaprabhu's branch, is only for facilitating Vishnu worship, is only so that they can touch the Shaligram Shila, is only so that they can worship the Shaligram Shila, because they will not be allowed to touch and worship the Shaligram Shila unless they are Dvijas. So only that part of Vedic literature which is favorable for worship of Vishnu, which is required for worship of Vishnu, not for performing Somyagya, not for debating on the Vedas. That is not the function of these Dikshitas. They have got Vaishnavi Diksha for a very limited purpose. The limited purpose is to worship the deity of the Lord, to perform some Vaishnava Homa Yagya, to perform some basic yagyas like that, not to take over and usurp the position of the traditional Brahmanas. That was never the purpose. But still some difference of opinion remains what to do. I hope you're able to understand. So Dikshita Eva, they became like the Yagya Brahmanas. Doesn't mean that they took upon all the functions of the Yagya Brahmanas. So these are verses like that which you can very easily show that it is possible to do that. Even today, Indian government, if you see, Indian government also allowed. And in southern part of India, in the Tirupati temple, they are training, some priests who are not born as Brahmanas. There's a batch of priests who are not born as Brahmanas. They're training them for deity worship. Now, I'm speaking of modern context. Even today, you can see, if you search the news, in Tirupati temple, they are training people who are born as Shudras or who are born as Dalits, and they are training them to become Brahmanas. I will show a news. I will share my screen and I will show a news which confirms this point. This is news in Times of India. Can you read the news, Prabhu?
First batch of SC/ST priests ready to take the charge at Tirupati temples.
Oh my goodness. So what happened, Prabhu? So how can because to touch the Shaligram, to touch the deity, you require to be a Brahmana. But now the traditions are gradually adapting. What the adaptation that was done by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada 150 years ago, that adaptation is now happening. So it's, I hope you are able to more or less, all the sampradayas have some variation, some form where such flexibility is allowed. It's not only certain parivars of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Everybody should be shown this news. Those who are protesting, they should be shown this news. That why is the Indian government, why is the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya allowing something like this, allowing training of priests who are not born as Brahmanas to take over the service of the deity. This is because Vaishnavism does not always expect birth. That is the answer to the. I hope that satisfies your query. Right?
Thank you so much, Rohit.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Next, we have a question from Kanai Sundar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the class. Many things were clarified. It was like a final seal that you put on this topic. Thank you, Prabhuji. On that same line of finding some precise like places in the scriptures, Prabhuji, as you're quoting that Brahmanda Puran, similar, I saw that in regards to the divinity of Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, so many quotes were being presented, but they fail to give the, like when we go to the location, it's like Naradiya Puran that was there, printed, Tattva Sandarbha, that verse, in that first verse, that Naradiya Puran section has that particular, the quotation is given, but when we go there, it's slightly different. Is there something which you can kindly direct us towards where we can find that clear indication of divinity of Mahaprabhu?
Yeah, when it comes to indications on divinity of Mahaprabhu, there are many sources quoted about divinity of Mahaprabhu, and many of the verses you are not able to find in the original sources.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Sri Radha Govindanath, he did a thorough research about this particular thing, and he wrote a book about it. I will share with you the name of the book. And do you read Hindi, Prabhu? Okay, so Kanai Sundar Prabhu, you said you read Hindi. I'll unmute you.
I'm
Let's.
finding him.
Yeah. Okay. So Kanai Sundar Prabhu, this is a book. Can you please read the title of the book?
Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki Swayam Bhagavata.
So Mahaprabhu's, this is by Sri Radha Govindanath. It was translated from Bangla into Hindi, and he analyzes all the pramanas, and so it's a detailed 250-page book. So if you want, I'll share the link of this book, and since you read Hindi, read away. It is focused exclusively on, and all the genuine pramans which exist in the Puranas, etc. He has analyzed and he has given. He's a very thorough scholar. Sri Radha Govindanath is a very, very thorough scholar. I'll give the link of the book here, and I will also, this book I had digitized some time ago, and I will, in the Q&A group, I will give the link of this book so that those devotees who wish to have access to this book, they can have access to it. I hope that satisfies your query.
Very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Vasudev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, my pranams to you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for this phenomenal, so well researched presentation and so clearly delivered with so much bhakti and devotion. It's a real, real treat to hear. There's a class I wouldn't not forget very quickly. After chanting for so many years, to finally know exactly where the Mahamantra comes from is really, I'm very grateful to you, Prabhu. I have a small question about something you said. You quoted a scholar who commented on the Kalisantana Upanishad that it appears to be modern.
Yes.
So we find also statements by several scholars about, for example, the Purusha Sukta, which is such an important Vedic hymn, that it appears like a more modern version according to the Sanskrit, the composition, and so on. So how do we respond to such allegations, such
Well,
misconceptions?
yeah, the Purusha Sukta is not found only in one Veda. It is found not only in Yajur Veda, it is also found in it is found in the other Vedas also, and other many branches of different Vedas. So for the same Sukta to be present in so many branches is not coincidence. If it would be present in one branch, and then you could have said it is a modern day interpolation. But it is not present only in one Veda. It is present in more than one Veda. The Purusha Sukta is present in multiple Vedas. And it is also found in the Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a chapter Purusha Sukta confirmed. But in any case, though those scholars will say that Bhagavatam is much later. But even in the case of Vedas, since it is found in multiple Vedas and multiple schools have accepted that the Purusha Sukta belongs to their branch, so no further proof is required. Either all of them interpolated it or either it is genuine. There can be only two possibilities. So those who are believers of those Vedic traditions will at least accept that if it is present in so many Vedas, then at least that is good enough proof that there is authenticity to the Purusha Sukta. So that could be given as an answer to the query. So I hope that satisfies the query to some degree.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. And how would you respond to like the differences in Sanskrit composition, the use of language, and so on? Can we say that the Shastra just speaks in different voices, almost like there's just different? All Sanskrit, Sanskrit is all eternal.
Yeah.
They're all eternal, different Shastras, but they just speak in different voices for some reason.
So yes, of course, the previous acharyas have said that Shastras speak in different voices. It is in the famous Vaishnav from Maharashtra. It is Hemadri Pant. Hari Lilamritam. Yes, Hari Lilamritam is the name of the book of Vopadev. Vopadev is the famous Vaishnav from Maharashtra who wrote a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. His commentary became so famous, people started saying Vopadev wrote the Bhagavatam. But later, Srila Sridhar Swami clarified it that Vopadev did not write the Bhagavatam. He just gave a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. In his Hari Lilamritam, I will share my screen and here it is in the 9th verse. It says Veda Purana. I will zoom in so that it is easier to see. He says Veda Puranam Kavyam Cha Prabhur Mitram Priyevacha. So the Vedas, Puranas, and poetry, they behave like three different people. Vedas behave like Prabhu, like a master. Puranas behave like a mitra, like a friend. And poetry behaves like a priya, like a beloved wife. Bodhayanti iti prahus. And Trivad Bhagavatam Puna. Bhagavatam behaves like all three. In some places, Bhagavatam behaves like a master. Some places like a friend. Some places like a beloved wife. So some places Bhagavatam is like a master. Go to the chapter of Rishabh Dev. You will find Bhagavatam speaking like a master. Some places Bhagavatam speaks like a friend. See Krishna's instructions to Uddhav. You will see Bhagavatam speaking as a friend. Some places Bhagavatam speaks like a beloved lady. See the 3rd verse of the Bhagavatam. Pibata Bhagavatam rasam. Drink the nectar of Bhagavatam for your entire life. Live happily in this way. So the Bhagavatam speaks in all three ways. I have given with examples. So this verse from Harililamritam of Vopadev is proof that Vedic literature speaks in various tones and various moods. Can easily be quoted. All right.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you.
We have the question written in from Anantashesha Prabhu,
Yeah.
and he has some respects and appreciation that he's written for you. And then his question is, you have mentioned various sources of the Mahamantra and their meanings in the Radha Tantra Varanasi edition, which you quoted. There is also an explanation of the Mahamantra. Could you kindly shed some light on its meaning?
Okay. There's an explanation, but that explanation is pertaining to Shiva and Shakti, because that explanation is pertaining to Bhagwan Shiva and his energies. So I have not dived into that so much, because Srila Jiva Goswami gave an explanation of the Mahamantra, which is according to the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Jiva Goswami also said that for mantras, you can take the meanings which are favorable to your ultimate goal of life. So if somebody has access to the Sanskrit, they can read the meanings there. I don't want to go into detail, because it takes every word, every syllable of the mantra and gives it meanings which are pertaining to Shiva and Shakti. But in other tantras such as Sanat Kumar, Samhita, etc., the meaning is given which is favorable to Radha and Krishna. In Brahmanda Puran, the meaning is given which is favorable to Radha Krishna understanding. So that is what it is. But I'll give a small summary that it is in the Radha Tantram, the meaning is given according to Shiva and Shakti understanding of the Mahamantra. But that meaning is not taken by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So that is the answer to the query.
Thank you. And I am deleting comments and questions as I go through them, just so I can keep track of everything in the chat. So please don't take offense if I've deleted what you have. Nothing personal.
He has another question. Oh, I'll read the next question. Anantashesh Prabhu says, today you highlighted different versions of mantra artha, but acharyas have also provided a specific word of the Mahamantra, meaning for each word of the Mahamantra. At which level of bhakti is this meaning realized and how it is practiced? At which level? At the level of bhajan kriya. At the level of bhajan kriya, because you cannot chant a mantra without knowing its meaning. So in one of in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, 6 qualities of good japa are described, and one of the 6 qualities is mantra artha chintanam, meditating on the meaning of the mantra. How can you meditate on the meaning of the mantra when you don't even know the meaning of the mantra? So before you begin uttering the mantra, for effective japa, meaning of the mantra has to be given, and that meaning is given by the Gurujanas at the stage of bhajan kriya, after initiation. At the stage of bhajan kriya, the detailed meanings are given. Before initiation also, you can take a general meaning. O Krishna, O energy of Krishna, please engage me in your service. So no problem in that. All right.
We have a follow-up question from Subhadramani Mataji.
Yeah.
If a lady in this age also follows varnashram and marriage, can she attain liberation without the Hare Krishna mantra chanting?
If a lady and a sage, follows varnashram.
If she follows varnashram and marriage, can she attain liberation even if she doesn't chant Hare Krishna?
There are many methods of attaining liberation in the Shastra. Hare Krishna is for attaining prema, not for attaining, it can give you liberation also, but there are many methods of attaining liberation, and the many methods of attaining liberation are, you can take Magh Snan. Sri Rupa Goswami glorifies Magh Snan so much. Magh Snan is one good way of attaining liberation. But Hare Krishna mantra is not only for liberation, it is beyond liberation. So Hare Krishna mantra is for prema, and a lady can attain even Krishna prema by utterance of Hare Krishna Maha mantra. No problem in that. There are also other techniques for attaining liberation, such as, I'll give an example, Magh Snan. Sri Rupa Goswami has glorified it in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Taking a bath in the month of Magh on the confluence of Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati in Prayag. Magh Snan. So there is a specific procedure for doing it. It removes all the sins and it bestows all benefit all the way up to liberation. Magh Snan is the name. So this is the answer.
Next we have Ajay Richarya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So my second question was regarding those 14 stages of progress by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur you mentioned in Sarartha Darshini. So 11th and 12th were Bhav and Prema, and 13th and 14th were Darshan and Madhurya Anubhav. But if we see the 9 stages of bhakti like Shraddha, Sadhusang, that stage comes in Bhav, Prema, and then Sneha, Man, Pranay. So would that darshan and madhurya anubhav would collide with sneha man, or would darshan will come at what stage? Like sneha man pranay at what
No,
stage, and madhurya anubhav also.
Darshan and Madhurya Anubhav, basically as soon as prema arises, flashes of darshan start happening. This is given in the Madhurya Kadambini. So if you read the Madhurya Kadambini, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur will explain. As soon as prema occurs, flashes of darshan start happening. In bhav, there are some flashes on the prema stage. There are more frequent flashes of darshan, and then Bhagwan also disappears sometime. And then these immediately after prema, those are the stages, darshan. And then after you attain your siddha deha, after you attain your perfected body, finally in Bhauma Vrindavan and then in Golok Vrindavan, then Harer Madhurya Anubhav, the complete experience. Because for complete experience, you need to have constant darshan in front of you. So that through all your senses, you need to experience Hari. So that darshan is only through the eyes or through the heart, but Madhurya Anubhav is through all the senses. And that happens when you receive a Siddha Deha in Goloka Vrindavan finally, and that complete experience is during that particular point of time. Then begins your Rag, Anurag, Mahabhav, all those stages begin after that. Those stages are for Siddha Deha. Right?
Yes, Prabhuji. I also had another question. I don't know if it's in
Can we come
follow-up
back
with
to
this
you unless
question.
it's a follow-up?
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Is it a follow-up? Because you can do a follow-up.
I think I'll wait for the third round.
Okay, thank you so much, Ajay Prabhu. Next we have Omkar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I had the question same around the same line like Vishwadhu Prabhu which said like about the origin of the tantras. Many of the acharyas like Sri Madhvacharya and then even our acharyas in Gaur Govind Smaran Paddhati, like for example we have mantras for Rupa Manjari or Ashta Manjaris, and some of the tantras some references given. So sometimes a question comes, it comes more for the tantras. Like in Vedas, you have branches, you have family branches through which the Vedas are passed. But tantras, basically, you cannot even validate, you don't have any family branch through which tantras are be passing or something like that. So how do we validate it? And sometimes this also raises the question of interpolation. Like how could because our acharyas quote something like mantra for Manjari or something like that. So and I think this is a very issue which is taken up by modern, I'd say, Orientalists and kind of people who try to study scriptures from comparing the usage of language and labeling all these things. So it's a kind of allegation on the traditional people.
Yeah, so for mantras which come from very specific branches, very specific lineages, the only answer to that particular query is that there are some mantras, let's say Veda mantras. Did all the Veda mantras come directly from the breathing of Narayan in a book form, Prabhu, Omkar Prabhu?
No, they emerged at different time.
All right. So we have Kathak Upanishad, we have Kathak Samhita. What is the meaning of Kathak there?
Katha Rishi.
Katha Rishi. So there is a certain sage who in his samadhi, he visualized the Veda mantra and then it was written down and it became known as Kathak Samhita. Isn't it?
Yes.
So isn't the same method of revelation applicable also for tantras and other literature?
Okay. Yes. Yes, because many of the tantras which we see have been propounded by rishis or sages or different personalities.
So Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan takes up this topic in the Siddhant Darpanam. I will yeah. Here it is. I am sharing my screen. You can look up this particular verse in the Siddhanta Darpanam of Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan. This he says, Sya nityakriti vachitvat putra bhavacha nityata kathakadi samakhyatu tad uchcharana hetuka. So kathakadi samakhyatu, they get name. Vedas also get names such as Kathak, Samhita, etc. Tad uchcharana hetuka, which means that the Kathak Rishi, who was a particular sage, he is the one who first uttered that particular mantra because he saw the mantra in his samadhi. And that is how it gets the name Kathak Samhita, etc. So if Vedas are not having any authors, then why are Vedas having names of authors? Taittiriya Samhita, Aitareya Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad. Why are they having these names, Omkar Prabhu?
Because they emerged from the respective rishis or
So that is what. When Sri Rupa Goswami gives the names of the entire family of Radha and Krishna in Radha Krishna Ganodesh Deepika, does he quote any tantra or is it simply out of his samadhi?
It is out of samadhi of Rupa Goswami.
So do we accept it as bona fide or not?
For us, it will be bona fide.
So we don't have to prove it to a university scholar, but for the parampara, it is bona fide. So that is just as Kathak Samhita is bona fide for the parampara of Kathak Muni. Similarly, the tantras which are within a particular sampradaya are bona fide for the followers of that particular sampradaya.
It's true. And just one additional thing, could you please also clarify about the question like Vasudev Prabhu had raised about like in Vedas, sometimes, modern historians, they try to analyze, this usage is a modern kind of Sanskrit usage and this is an old Sanskrit usage. Now in Puranas and Tantras, we can say that words may change, but the intention remains the same. But in case of Shrutis, we maintain this firmly that the word and the order, the Anupurvi remains the same. So for Vedas, it becomes a big allegation, like, you find Patha Veda or some Patha Veda may be some mistake, but usages of Sanskrit which are a little modern. So this actually suggests some tampering maybe.
See, if you follow that model and you try to trace back, you will never come to a certain conclusion. Therefore, the difference between Aroha Pantha and Avaroha Pantha. Aroha means you try to climb back and find out what is bona fide and what is not bona fide. It is very difficult. And the way to determine what is bona fide and what is not bona fide is to find out what has been passed down the Guru Parampara since thousands of years. You say there are differences in reading of the various Vedas. There are differences in reading because there are so many branches of the same Veda. The Rig Veda has more than 1,000 branches. Obviously, there are going to be some differences of reading in some of those branches. So it is to be expected, but are the mantras like so rigid that a little part of it, a little difference of reading will change everything in the mantra? No, as long as the meaning remains the same, a little difference of reading does not make any difference. So I hope that answers your query to some degree of satisfaction.
Yes, true. I think the basis which they used to classify, like, this is modern or this is not, that itself is faulty.
See, Prabhu,
Or questionable.
The whole scientific process or the whole process of the process which is adopted in the universities, at its core, it is a materialist process. I hope you are able to understand.
Yes.
When they try to use that approach with philosophy or with the Vedas or with any sort of literature, they'll obviously run into these difficulties that how do we know what is bona fide and what is not bona fide? How do we know, which means that you wish to understand and put the Vedas within the box of your understanding. But it is not going to happen unless you follow the process given in the Vedas. That is, you approach a guru and you learn from the guru. and then after learning from the Guru, you experience a transformation in your own life. That is how the Vedas are going to work. But if you want change your position, you want to find out what is bona fide and what is not bona fide from your point of view, then the Vedas are not going to reveal those secrets to you so easily. So that is the short and sweet answer to the query.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Prabhu.
Next, we have a question from Maya Narsingh Rao. Maya is a lady's name, right?
Could be both. Could be both. Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So if the Maha Mantra is the main way for people to attain perfection, then what is the importance of Diksha?
The importance of Diksha is you can chant Mahamantra even without Diksha. I showed the Praman today. No Diksham, nacha Satkriyam. You can begin chanting it. But Diksha gives you a specific connection with Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Because you are connected to a Guru Parampara, which is connected to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. The Diksha gives you that connection, Diksha gives you that sense of relationship. And the Guru also, in certain branches of the Sampradaya, the Guru also gives an exact relationship that you have with Shri Krishna. So Diksha fulfills that purpose of giving that relationship with Shri Krishna. Otherwise, even without a relationship, you can chant Mahamantra and you can derive all the benefits except for Shri Krishna Prem, because Shri Krishna Prem you need to have Diksha from a Guru who is already connected to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So that is the answer to the query.
And we have a final question from Ajay Richarya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm so sorry for troubling you so much. It's just my final question. You said that the prema, like you said here, that for attaining Krishna prema, that Diksha is important. So, but in Bhagavatam 10:33-39, with the verse that Vikriditam Rajavado Viridam Cha Vishnu. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Sharad Darshani says that before complete anartha nivritti, there will be a prema. And like you replied to my previous question, you said in the stage of prema, there will be flashes of darshan. So does that prema is different from this prema? And you said that for Krishna prema, Diksha is important. So how would we understand that prema that in Sarar Darshani Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has described?
I think you have read an English translation. Have you read the original?
No, because English only original is available in Sanskrit only, I think.
So I'd suggest that um, uh, in the Q&A group, if you're a part of the Q&A, are you a part of the Q&A group?
Yes, I am.
So because kindly send me the verse number in the Q&A group. I'll have a look at the Sanskrit commentary and I'll see what it is, because right now to immediately pull out and look at an entire paragraph of commentary, it is better that I look at it in the Q&A group and then I'll definitely answer the query. But it doesn't seem that from just out of intuition I am saying, I don't think there is any version of Prema before Anartha Nivritti. Right? So, but I'll need to look at it in detail. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, sure. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Pardon me, I'm wrestling with my daughter, but I think we've reached the end of all the relevant questions for today's class. And anything from you before I conclude?
No, I heard Hare Krishna. I heard Hare Krishna. Or what is she saying?
Oh, Ranga, can you say Hare Krishna?
Hare Krishna. All right. Thank you.
She's got a picture of Radha and Krishna here.
Oh, wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, Prabhu. Thank you.
So now I'll invite all the devotees to unmute and give a warm Hare Krishna and thank you to Hari Parshad Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Full lecture.
Thank you so much.
Kalpatarubhascha
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada
Krishna chanting, Prabhuji.
Patitanam Pavane
Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
brother.
Shri
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Chaitanya
Hare Krishna.
much,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare
Rama.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna,
for
Hare
wonderful
Krishna,
class.
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama.
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama.
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare Hare.
Sriman Hari
Hare
Parshad
Krishna.
Prabhuji ki
Ki
jai.
Jai.
Glory to
Thank you,
all the
Jai.
everyone.
Jai.
Guru Shri
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Sriman Hari
everyone. Thank
Parshad
you so much for
Prabhu.
your association.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Kindly forgive my offenses in doing this role. And we'll look forward to see you next time. Take care.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you
Hare
so
Thank
much.
you.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you so much.
Krishna.